All right. Hopefully, we are officially live. I don't know if we are or not. Let me check my notifications. All right. We are live. We are live. I'm going to wait for some folks to get in here. Notifications did just go out. So we are going to wait for some people to get into the chat room. Hopefully, I get some folks on here today and we can kind of just chit chat, talk about the car business. As you guys know, we are all in the middle of one of the worst events in world history, not only American history, but the world. Right up there with the 1918, 1917 Spanish flu that we're hearing so much about. But in spite of that, we are still here. We are still healthy. I hope all of you guys are healthy as well as my family is. And we're all just trying to stay vigilant and stay in good spirits. But nonetheless, I wanted to just go live to kind of chit chat. I know I haven't done any lives in the evening lately. I've been focused on working the business. So, we are kind of getting back open now around the world, the rest of the world. But for me, Alabama has never really, Alabama, the state did close, but the sales didn't necessarily stop. They slowed for probably about a week or two, and then they picked back up and pretty much stayed consistent with selling about 4 cars a week throughout this time. So nonetheless, we are still rocking and rolling with the business. So I wanted to, let me bring up the chat box, make sure I got the chat up. Where is the chat? Okay, I think somebody that's here put something in the chat box so I can know to see if this thing is working. I'm supposed to be able to see you guys' messages in the thingy here. I don't see anything. So let me do this. I'm gonna go out and I'm going to, I don't think I can have the screen on. Okay, got it. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Thank you, Lance. I mean, it's Lance LeVar Vance. Your last name. Oh no, I got your last name and your first name mixed up, man. How you been, man? How's everything going? How you and the family? Hope you guys are well. Did you ever sell that Charger? I hope you sold that Charger. Please tell me you've sold that Charger. We're just gonna have a conversation by way of. And it may be a little bit of delay, so if I'm responding to your message like super late, then excuse me, man. Well, that don't sound good. That don't sound good, LeVar. Man, let me tell you something. I'll give you a proposition, dude. If you get that car, I would say if you get that car to my lot in Alabama, I will consign it for you. I will sell it for you on my lot. We can work out a small fee for my sales manager and for Dealmart. If you're interested in that, you got my number, hit me up. But if that car is running and driving and you ain't sold it yet, I don't know if it's because I know you're still pretty much full-time in real estate. So that may be the thing that's holding it back. But let me know if that's something you're interested in. Because again, with that car being on a lot with people coming every day, all day passing by, it may work. Especially if you ain't sold it yet. So, that is there for you if you want to do that. And I don't really do that with everybody, but I mean, you've had that car for a long time, so just let me know. But so I pretty much wanted to do this live to do an update on the business and how things are looking for me and for the South in Georgia and Alabama. And I really can't say a lot about Georgia because, as you guys know, I closed my car lot in Georgia to focus on my car lot exclusively in Alabama. at that time, I had 2 car lots in the state of Alabama. I consolidated those 2 down to 1, which is now just in Phoenix City. So the business right now is unbelievably prosperous. Like, I am selling cars so quick, and I've always sold my cars quick. I've always sold my cars literally. My average days on the market, if I had to say the average, and this encompasses the longest and the shortest, my average is 4 days on the market. 4 days. So that's pretty aggressive when you start to talk about other people that I've seen on YouTube that have said their cars sit for 14 days. Imagine that. Imagine that. 14 days your car's sitting on the car lot. That's crazy to me. Like that makes me clench and you know, be concerned in a great deal about either my location or my price. There's no way a car should sit in the type of program that I do, where the cars are under $3,500. They have a buy here, pay here down payment of under, in most cases, under $1,500. There's no way in this creation that you should have a car on your lot for 14 total days sitting there, and you're running a similar program that I'm running. Obviously, you're not pricing those cars properly, period. Or your reputation is just trash. One or the other. Also, we got some shirts in. Show y'all the merch. Oh crap, I'm driving, so yeah. So we y'all know if you can see that, but yeah, we official. We're official. We're doing a couple different things with our marketing, and we're trying to make sure that. Well, I'm trying to make sure that the brand is growing and being preserved through all of the times and the tribulations. You know what I mean? Ideally, we want to be the premier choice for Phoenix City region, Phoenix City, Columbus area, and be unmatched. I don't believe anybody can do it the way I do it. Now, I believe that cars are not the same. Everybody has a different inventory. Everybody have a different mindset about how they want to dispose of that inventory and the choices that they make. If you watch some of my previous videos, one of the videos that I produced on my live, which was talking about buy here, pay here. I forget the title. I think it's why do I do buy here, pay here financing. That video explains it very well, and everybody does it completely different. All right, let's go back to the chat. Charlie Hernandez, how are you doing, man? How are you? Hope you're doing well up there in NY. I've been hearing your governor. You know, your governor is the most popular politician in America right now, to say the least. But I hope you're doing well. And I think you are opting to open up in Alabama, so we may potentially be neighbors. And LeVar says, I'll keep the messages short, call you later today. All right, cool. Sounds good. Give me a call. But yeah, the business is picking up, y'all, man. I'm telling you, these auctions. Now, only thing I would tell you right now is that you're going to see these cars selling way overpriced. There's a group on Facebook that I'm a part of that was created by Rick Dyer. He's also a YouTuber. And one of the people are trying to do is they're trying to make up years ago. Now I need to, all the money I lost, I need to try to recoup that in one vehicle or per vehicle. And that's just not realistic. So if you are attending the auctions right now, be mindful of your valuations. Understand that hopefully you're not brand new, but if you are brand new, MMR to me means absolutely nothing, but at least, don't overpay MMR. Have some type of benchmark right now to where you can, not get taken for a ride, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when you buy that car, your end game begins. So as soon as you win that bid, your end game, the clock starts of disposal. At the end of the day, we're in this to make money, in it to profit, in it to be successful for our business and our family members, whatever your why is and your reason. When you bid on that car and you win, and that auction block, that auctioneer says sold at the bidder number 124, and your bidder number 124, your clock starts with disposing of that vehicle and making your profit and obtaining and reaching your goals. So be mindful of that. You know what I mean? Be mindful of that, because that is real, and it's consequential. You only get one shot. You know what I mean? You only get one shot in buying the right inventory. You know, you don't get any do-overs in the car business when it comes to buying inventory. You can do it over once you dispose it. You know what I mean? If you, and I've done it so many times that I'm thankful, and I will share this. Use the right lane, exit 2. I will share this. I have had my ups and downs in this business, man. Nobody is fail-proof. Nobody is invincible to the car business. Okay, you're all gonna make mistakes, and you're all gonna buy some cars that are pieces of crap. But if you don't hear anything from me, make sure you don't overpay, because if you don't overpay, your end game and your success in the end game is more likely, it's more probable. For instance, a couple lives ago, when I went live last week or maybe a week before last, and I showed you guys exactly, it was 3 cars that I sold, or that I bought from Odessa Auto Auction. And it was, I think it was, what was the name of that video? I don't know. I got so many videos. But anyway, look back on a couple lives, and I had 3 vehicles that I bought. I bought an Impala, Fusion, and a Scion. Now, 3 cars that I purchased. 1 car I made pure profit on. 1 car. The other 2 cars, and 2 cars I made pure profit on. 1 of the 3 I did not make any money on. I literally broke even to get out of the car. All right. So if you buy the cars at a price where you did not overpay, even if the motor is knocking, even if the transmission is slipping, you can sell that car. Okay. Now, you may not sell it for profit, but you're not going to sell it with a loss. But if you overpay for that same exact car, you're going to take a loss. For instance, let's talk about it. So the Impala that I purchased, I paid $250, and I think it was $330 with the buy fee. So I had $330 in the car, and then I had, did I ship that one? No, I shipped that one. And then I had $100 in transport fee for shipping it. So that's $430. And then eventually when the car gets sold, I had another $125 for commission for my sales manager. So that's $585 if I'm doing my quick math right. I think that's right. I graduated from Atlanta Public Schools, went to the University System of Georgia. So if I didn't do that right, blame them. So $585 in the car. Now, the car had an issue with the motor. It turned over, it ran, it moved on its own power, but it had a cracked block at the bottom of the engine, or in the engine. Basically, water was spewing out of the engine, not oil, it was water. So it was cracked somewhere. My mechanic told me, Raymond, don't put a dime in this car, get out of it. Because if we go into this engine, we're definitely gonna find things that we don't want to see. And it's one of those things where out of sight, out of mind is what you want to have in the business. So if I don't know about it, it's out of my mind, it's out of sight. But so with that being said, I had $585 in the car. My mechanic didn't charge me anything for looking at it, because I give him a lot of work. He's my exclusive mechanic. He does all of my cars. So at $585, I stopped. I said, we're going to put this thing on the market for $1,000 cash, plus tax and title if it applies. And I say if it applies because my dealership is in Alabama. Legally, I do not charge taxes to Georgia residents. Now, when they register the car, they will have to pay their taxation to the state of Georgia. So I put it on the market for $1,000 in 2 days. No, I think we kept that one for about 4 days after my mechanic looked it over. So by that time, we had it on the lot for 3 days. My mechanic looked it over within those 3 days. And then about 4 days after, we had the car sold at, we had it on the market for $1,000. We sold the car for $800. That's what I did on that car. So that is a scenario where, because my margins were comfortable, because my margins were where they were supposed to be, Deal Mart didn't lose a thing. Now, Deal Mart didn't make a lot, so $800 minus $585, you do the math on that. That's like $215 or something like that. So not a lot of money to be made, but did I lose anything? No. And that is the key. And you're not going to get rich off of every car. For an example, let's talk about a new car store. A new car store, typically their average profits is about $700 a unit on average. About $700 a unit here in the Atlanta area. Now, I haven't done the Columbus area. It's probably comparable. Maybe a little bit higher, because obviously the new car stores are a little bit more scarce in that region than it is the Atlanta metro. But needless to say, your margins on the buy here, pay here are typically going to always supersede what a new car store will do. But at the same time, don't be afraid to make that $200 profit. I'll take that $200 profit, get my initial investment back, and go ahead and buy another unit. Adding $200 and something to the company coffers. So I think it's a lesson to be learned in that story I told you guys, especially in this time that we're getting back into the flow. Things are getting back open. And the biggest issue that you guys need to make sure that you're balancing in your geographical area. So I don't know when you're going to watch this, where you're watching it from. Hopefully you already subscribed to the channel. Hopefully you smash the like button as well. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe right now if you're liking what you're hearing. But wherever you are in the United States, you need to make sure that you balance your inventory, or your desire to buy inventory, with your consumer confidence in your area. You need to have a way to measure, even if that's going to a comparable used car dealership around the corner from you or on your way to your lot. You need to park across the street from them at some point, and you need to jot down their inventory. You can make a mental picture, you can jot it down, you can do whatever. And what I want you to do is I want you to watch their inventory. Now, it needs to be a comparable. You need to be comparing apples to apples. So it needs to be somebody that's doing a similar program that you're running, or pricing the cars in a similar margin, okay? And what you're trying to do is you're trying to gauge, are they holding on to these cars, or are they selling these cars, right? And that's going to kind of give you an idea of the consumer confidence. If they're selling their cars, more than likely, if you're doing the same thing, if your pricing is comparable, then you can sell cars as well. It's all about not creating a wheel, right? It's all about doing what works. But you need to be able to balance how many pieces of inventory that you're buying with how confident you are that the consumer is going to come and buy your inventory. Because what I don't want to see any of my followers do on this channel is go and put all of your money in inventory in this time and not have done that legwork to be proven to know that you are gonna sell your cars. Okay, so far this week I bought 3 new pieces of inventory for the lot. My goal is to get another 5 more this week alone, and today is Wednesday. So we have an auction tomorrow and an auction Friday. So between today and tomorrow and Friday, I want to buy 5 more cars. That'll give me a net of 8 new units to the week. And then next week, I want to do another 8, right? So I know what my confidence is in my dealership in selling my inventory. I know that my average days on the market, even in the Corona, is about average of 4 days. I'll give you another story that I just recently did, and I'm driving, so I got all the time to chit chat. You guys knew I bought that F-250. If you follow the channel, you know I bought an F-250, and the reason I bought it was I was going to start towing my own vehicles from the auction because I got sick and tired of waiting on transporters to go and pick up the cars and then pussyfoot around about when it's going to get there and about this and that, right? I got fed up with it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to fix this. I'm always a solution-oriented person, and that's what you got to be in the car business. Find solutions. That's all we do. We walk up to a car, guess the best we can about the history of the car, guess the mechanics of the car, and also, not necessarily guess the mechanics, but observe the mechanics of the car, come to a conclusion about how we feel the car performs, and then we go and we try to have a solution, which is sell it for a profit. So we're just basically attacking a problem, solving a problem by selling it and making money with it, in a sense, if you really get in there and think about it. But nonetheless, being solution focused and solution oriented is what you need to be. So I had that mindset. I bought that 250. I was going to go start shipping my own cars to the lot, or hauling my own cars to the lot. So I did that this past week. On Thursday and Friday, I hauled 3 vehicles myself with the 250. Now, I'm giving you my honest opinion. I hated every moment of it. I hated every moment of it. So if you are gonna start using your own cars, your own pickup truck to haul your cars to your lot, just be ready for it and understand that you are trading off your time for doing this. And is your time worth more than your potential savings, right? Because again, you're trying to balance this in your head. You're telling yourself, okay, if I can speed up the process, if I'm already going to the auction anyway, why not have a pickup truck and a trailer to be able to take 2 cars back to my lot, right? When you say that out loud, it makes sense. Everybody on this channel right now that's watching this video, at this point, let me know in the comments right now if that makes sense to you. Just put in yes. If you're watching it after the fact, just put yes at this marker, okay? If that makes sense to you, just put yes. And most people are going to agree that makes sense. You know what I mean? You're already going to the auction, so if you can afford it, go ahead and buy a truck, buy a trailer, and be able to transport your own cars. That makes logical sense. But what you don't understand or evaluate in that rationale, because you're using your best judgment without actually doing it. So I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you thought that a situation or something made perfect sense when you thought about it, and then when you went to do it, it's like, I didn't know that was gonna happen, right? Because that's the uncertainty. You don't know until you know. You don't know until you do it. So anyway, I did that. I hated every minute of hauling those cars. The hauling and towing part wasn't horrible. It was uneasy because I am a worst case scenario type of a guy. I'm always thinking of what if this happens, what if that happens, what if the hitch jumps off the trailer jumps off the hitch, what if my tire blows out and I got these cars on here, blah blah blah, right? That all goes through your mind, and I'm not a wimp by any means. So saying that, I hated every minute of doing the towing. Then on top of doing the towing part, you have to go through the auction to get the cars. Now, granted, this scenario was not a picture perfect scenario. We were in the middle of the pandemic. I bought these cars online. The cars were not driven through, so they weren't placed in the appropriate area, right? So with that being said, I had to do a lot of walking around the auction to find the cars. And then when I got there, I didn't take my jump box with me because it was at the car lot. So that was a little bit of an issue. I knew that was going to probably, my mind was prepared for that. But at the end of the day, going and picking up the cars and walking through the auction, I spent an hour and a half to locate the cars. That wasn't even getting them loaded up. That was locating the cars and getting them driven out of the auction. An hour and a half. And then you think about about 10 minutes of loading every car. So 10, 20, 30 minutes of loading time. So all of this stuff plays in my head. It's like, well, you know what, dude? I'm just going to go ahead and pay the transport fee. And what I'm going to start doing is just basically putting my cars up on Central Dispatch as soon as I win them. Versus like waking up the next morning and then having coffee, having breakfast, and then you put it up at 12. People have already made their route. the transporters have already planned out their day. They got their loads. So this is another tip. And if you watch these videos, I'm telling you, you can get some information. You may have to listen to a lot of my spiel about a lot of things, but you can get some information. And I'm about to give you one right here, okay? If you're using Central Dispatch or any type of transporter dispatching system, you're gonna want to put the best time to load your cars up and place them out to be bidded on is in the morning or late at night, okay? Because if you do it late at night, most of the transporters that wake up that next morning, they'll see your load, and boom, they'll be popping you phone calls after phone calls again to that next morning. So you've burnt pretty much 18 hours in just waiting to be, getting some calls from transporters to actually start the conversation about when they can pick your car up and when they can drop it off. But I kind of forgot how I got into that conversation about that, but I wanted to give y'all an update on the 250 and my experience with transporting the cars. I'm gonna go to the chat now. Use my story issue to help everyone else. It's a mistake I wish on nobody. Right. That's it. It's all about sharing what we know, because at the end of the day, your experience, my experience, it does not have to be only for me or only for you, right? You can share it, and hopefully that can help someone else not to make that same mistake. That's the whole reason for this channel. The whole reason for this channel, because as I did a lot of this stuff, it's almost like, I don't know if any of you guys play video games. I used to play video games as a kid all the time. And then I stopped gaming because I grew up and became a real man and had to pay bills and had babies and girlfriends and wives and all of this stuff that takes your innocence away. It just takes your innocence away. But I used to be a gamer, and I just now started to get back into gaming a little bit. Crap. I'm having brain farts. I don't know where I was going to go with that. I was going somewhere, though. Anyway, I'm opening it up to questions. LeVar, you got any questions for me? I think, Charlie, you're still watching. Any questions that I can help with? Because I literally just lost my train of thought on that. I was going somewhere with it. But I don't know where I was going. But I was going somewhere. Charlie, if you're still watching, what's your status update, buddy? I mean, I know we've talked. You were thinking about partnering with Dealmart, and then you hit me saying that you want to actually open up a lot in Alabama yourself. So what's your update? And again, I don't have any. I want you to do whatever is best for you. Obviously, I mean. And actually with the partnership program, I'm in talks with my attorney too. For all of you guys that are watching this and wondering what's the update on the partnership program, I'm in talks with my attorney because we ran into a little bit of a snag. Obviously, I've already been operating and open and blah, blah, blah. And the snag is, how do we formalize this to a point to where we're not, all right, cool, LeVar, sounds good. Where basically I'm trying to find a way to formalize this partnership without having to do too much dismantling and rebuilding, right? Because when you're talking about doing a partnership program like this, you have to be mindful of so many other things. You got to be mindful of the SEC, Security Exchange Commission. And the first attorney that I hired, that I retained, and mostly for a consultation, he was very leery to me about his knowledge in doing what I want to do, which is basically not solicit a share or a stock, right? Well, not necessarily a stock in a business. But you are, in a sense, because when you say, I'm going to give you 2% of this business as a partner, and you be an owner, by saying you be an owner, the law don't acknowledge owner versus member. So he gave me all this legal jargon. But essentially, in Alabama, they have statutes and laws. Sorry about that. That number looked kind of familiar. There's laws about the LLC and what you can do, what limitations you have with it. One of the limitations with the LLC in the state of Alabama is going to be there can't be different classes of members on an LLC. Now, you can do that for a corporation, where you can have different levels of members of the corporation. So that was the direction that I was going to go with it, which was to basically go ahead and change over Dealmar Auto Sales LLC, sell it to Dealmar Auto Sales Corporation, and then at which point I would be able to actually have different levels of membership, because obviously I will maintain a majority of equity in my own business, but the corporation presents a challenge. And that challenge is, how do you keep the power in your corporation? You could literally start a corporation and bring on members, and they actually put all of their percentages together and can take your business or throw you off, pretty much take the business from you. Now, I think that one of the things that I countered back to my attorney was, well, I'm controlling how much percentages that I'm giving to people. Well, that has to be offset with how many members that you do, right? Because obviously, if I gave the partners 2% ownership, which is what I was going to do, 2% ownership, and I take 10 members, right? So if one member starts a coup and buy out the other partners, the other members, that percentage will only be 20%, right? So if I maintained 60% off the bat and you have 20%, then to me, logically, I was thinking that, okay, I should be fine with just doing that. So what I'm going to do is just cap the members that I take on, give everybody 2%. So at no point can they ever come in and say, I'm start a coup and then try to pretty much take the business from me. So that was the solution to that. But then he said, well, how are you getting these partners? How are you getting these partners? I said, well, I do YouTube, and it's going to be pretty much solicited in that way. Not necessarily solicited, but here's the definition of solicitation. Solicitation is an offering. And an offering could be just as what I'm doing. Hey, I have a partnership program. If you want to be a dealer, come buy into my partnership program. You just made an offering. And so then it's like, well, okay, well, how about we do it? And I'm telling y'all everything. And it's crazy because I paid so much money for this consultation. But it's all about transparency for me. Somebody else may want to try to offer a partnership program, and they may run into this, and they may find some resolve in this. But needless to say, and I'm almost to my destination. I'm going to start wrapping this in a minute. Needless to say, the other issue was trying to get over the SEC and not raising a red flag of solicitation, which there's really no way of doing that unless you just privately, in a private group of exclusive people, which I would have to build a following to do that, right? And have a closed member group, and then to that membership only, offer the partnership program. And then guess what? That's not a public offer. That's a private offer. SEC is concerned about public offerings. So that is a way that I could overcome it there. But then it was, okay, well, let's go that route. And so that's kind of where I am. All right. I'm waiting on that. All right. Charlie said, I would like to maybe partner with you and know else to open a lot. Then maybe others. Clean that up for me a little bit, Charlie. Clean that up for me just a little bit. I don't understand what you're saying. I understand the first part. I would like to maybe partner with you, and then the know else to open a lot, that part I'm confused about. Then maybe others. I guess maybe what you're saying, and I can try to figure it out now that I say it over again. So you maybe want to partner with me, and then you may want to open other lots on your own. And that's something that my attorney, and if that is what you're saying, if that is what you're saying, you don't have to reply if I got it. But one of the other things that my attorney and I are looking at is potentially doing a franchise where you can actually franchise into the Deal Mart brand, and that's it right there. You can franchise into this brand, buy all of the trademark and the usage, but you would have to go out and start your own actual physical location. But you would have my mentorship, you would have all of my branding techniques, and I'm telling you guys, Phoenix City's #1 choice for buy here, pay here, used cars above the barrel disclosures. All of our cars are sold as is, but if we know something about this car, we're gonna tell you. We're not gonna be putting sawdust in the oil. We're not gonna be draining the radiator so the car don't run hot on the lot. We're not gonna be doing any of those things. You come to my lot, the way it broke is the way you find it. Pretty much the way it broke is the way you find it. If you want to take on that project, you can do it. And that's why we have had so much success in my business, is because we give people transparency. We tell people the truth. And that is why we are being so successful in Phoenix City. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity to do it. If there are not any other questions, I am going to go ahead and terminate my live and go and handle my business. But I pray that all of you guys are safe and well. Please wear your mask when you go out in public, guys. I understand that, you wear your mask to prevent other people from getting something that you could potentially have and don't know it. That's the whole reason for the mask. So I'm going to advocate that on my channel, because this is my channel. If you don't like that, then you can unsubscribe, and that's fine too. But wear your mask, wash your hands, be safe. I hope all of you guys much prosperity in your business. If I can do anything to help you, it may not be on this video, but on my other videos, my contact information is in the description. If you want to get in touch with me, get in touch with me. And more information about the partnership program is going to be coming. I'm still in talks. It's just been tough right now with the whole Corona stuff and not being able to really just kind of get into the office and sit down and brainstorm and come up with a good plan for making sure this partnership is above ground, making sure everybody's protected, and making sure first and foremost, I am 100% protected, because ain't nobody gonna come up in here and steal Deal Mart. So we got to make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's. And if you are taking a partnership with somebody else's company here on YouTube, make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. That's all I'm gonna say, because it's deeper than just signing I buy a percentage of your business. Especially in the state of Alabama. I can't talk to other states because I don't know their jurisdiction and their laws. Every state is different. But if you are buying a partnership with anybody in the state of Alabama, make sure either they're registered with the SEC, right, to do a public offering, or you are a private member of their group. And that may be something that we may have to do in order for us to get our partnership program off the ground and grow Deal Mart and grow the brand together. And you get in on what I've already built. So, yeah, until next time, guys, y'all stay good. Do what I told you to do on that. Please, if you're watching this for the first time, if you like anything about this live, go ahead and hit the subscription button, hit the like button. If you have any questions, comment in the comment section, and I will respond to it. Peace, guys. Take care. Talk to you later.